Hello and welcome back to Bet Racing Nation here on Sports Tonight Live. Sorry about that, it was Adam. We now have Nick Scholfield on the line. We're going to be talking about a few of Paul Nicholls' stable stars for the upcoming season. Good afternoon, Nick.
Afternoon, Luke. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Yourself?
Yeah, great.
Obviously, last season, one of your leading lights was Irving, who was fantastic when winning at Kempton. Things didn't really go right at Cheltenham. A few people were blaming the track for that because he's got more of a flat pedigree, of course, but you think otherwise, don't you?
I don't think you can blame the track. He won round Ascot, which is undulating enough, and so no, I can't. I don't blame the track personally, but I just don't think he saw the horse at his best light then. But no, I scored him the other day. He's come in and looks big and strong, and he'll be taking on those top class 2 mile races.
So the champion hurdle definitely isn't off the agenda for now.
Not at the moment. No, definitely not. No.
But as a terms of a starting point for him, maybe the elite hurdle, Far West for the same connections last year started off there. Maybe that would be a good stepping stone off 148.
Yeah, you could something like that. Look, Paul Nicholls is a trainer. He knows the best thing to do, and he's had horses like him in his hands before. So I'm sure he'll pick the best option. There's a listed race at Kempton early on in the season. Yeah. So yeah, there's probably a number of options for him. So but he's fitting well at the moment.
Yeah, I can imagine Kempton suiting him as he proved last year. Another one that I wanted to just mention to you, you rode him in the RSA, it's Black Thunder. He came down probably before his race was run. How do you think he would have gone in that race, really?
Yeah, he was travelling well. He won. He beat Shotgun Paddy in the Grade 2 at Lingfield on bottomless ground. He's not a flashy horse. He surprised me how well he was travelling in the RSA. I thought, if anything, he could just get tapped for toe. He was travelling well when he comes down, going away from the stand. So, hey, look, he's going to be in the big. He's going to be against the big boys this year. He's off quite a high mark. So, he could turn out into a proper staying chaser. He's a good jumper on the whole. He goes on softer ground, and I think Paul sort of earmarked the race in Ireland at Down Royal for him that he's won previously. That could be his sort of first race target sort of thing.
So, but you'd expect him to step up in trips sooner rather than later, maybe a Welsh national, something along the lines of that?
Yeah, he could be. Yeah, he does stay and he handles the softer conditions. So, he's a horse that could go down those routes, certainly, if he's not quite classy enough for the sort of Gold Cup division. And
one more thing on Black Thunder, he's gone to Cheltenham twice in the festival as well, and he's fallen twice, once in the Coral Cup, once in the RSA. Do you think the track has anything to play with that, or just...
No, not really. He seems to handle the track. I think probably the speed of the race. He's probably lacks a bit of match practice, and he didn't actually. He ran in some small field races as a novice over fences. So it was probably his first time in a big field on good ground going to gallop. He was against Corringwood at Warwick. There was only about 3 runners in that race when I won, and there was only about 4 runners. And at Fontwell when he won, there was not many runners. So he's probably lacked match practice, if anything, and but he'll get that, and he does plenty of schooling at Paul. So I just think this jumping will soon brush up.
Yeah, and one horse that was key to you last year was Melodic Rendezvous. Do you know what the plan is with him this year? Because I imagine ground is a big player for him. He wants it softer. He got a bit outpaced in the champion hurdle, but would he maybe have an eye on novice chasing?
Hey, the options are all open for him. I don't think Jeremy or the owners decided what he's to do yet. But yeah, like you say, he is much more effective on softer ground, and he's probably going to struggle in your entries and your Cheltenham speed because of that, because you're unlikely to get the soft ground. And but he won over 100 and something thousand in prize money last year over hurdles. So if he can go and do that and give their owners a lot of fun along the way, which he will. Hurdles and fences is probably a better campaign for him over hurdles. He's got the scope to jump fences.
So that was Melodic Rendezvous, who options seem wide open this season. Wonderful Charm is one that, as a novice, that I was a big fan of last season. He seems, for me, one that may want to step up in trip, maybe to 3 miles.
Yeah, it looks that way, the way he's run. He was a bit disappointed at the champion, you could argue, but he's a horse with a good turn of foot at the end of the race. He's a good jumper. Paul will pick and choose his races with him, I'd imagine, and probably try him see if he does get 3 miles, and if he does, that'll look for a lot of options.
And there were 2 more that I wanted to mention quickly while you have you. Calypto, everything went wrong for him in the Triumph Hurdle last season. He's got quite an attractive handicap mark, actually, of 143. Would maybe you guys look to keep him over hurdles for a season with an eye on going chasing next year? Because he's definitely got the scope for it, hasn't he?
In the race, but he's a brilliant jumper. Done loads of schooling at home, and he was a very unfortunate last season in the Triumph. He's a proper horse, and but like you say, 143. You both think it's very. You wouldn't have that lot marked for long, so I suppose Paul will have an eye on that, and he might take advantage of it.
Yeah, and understandable on that. And one last one to mention that caught a lot of people's eye last year is Putty Zigg, who seems to dwarf everything else no matter what field he's in. He ran a huge race in the Champion Hurdle, and you actually beat him once on Melodic Rendezvous at Haydock. He would again be one in the future who you'd expect to see over fences?
Yeah, I expect him to be one of Paul's sort of nicer novice chasers for this year. He's got a good few novice chasers for the season. Scholfield the Row being one of them, very high-rated hurdlers, and I actually think he could very much be the best of them. And he ran a big race behind the new one and Rock on Ruby at Aintree, over 2.5. I think he's crying out for a fence. He's run a big race in Auteuil last year, which are mini-style fences, and I just think you'll see a much better horse over fences, and he probably wasn't quite champion hurdle class over hurdles, and a very good horse. He's probably, what he is a chaser, and he's done well to win what he has, really, so I expect him to step up big time over fences.
Yeah, he's one that I'm very excited about. And one last one, I promise you on that, is Far West, who things didn't particularly go right last season. Would maybe he be another novice chaser to take forward for this season? Yeah,
definitely. I'd imagine he would definitely go chasing. He's a horse that probably just fell in the winter months. Whether he'd just quite be good enough for your top class Grade 1 races, I'm not sure. But he's a very good horse, and he'll win the nice prizes along the way.
Yeah, exactly. Look, Nick, thank you very much for joining us. We wish you the best for this season and a safe season above all. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Yeah, cheers, Luke. Thanks very much.